What is up, guys? It's Troy at the Full Setup, back with another video, and I'm doing a bit of a late night one, which is why you can't see all my nice techie desk behind me, and you've just got this sort of wallpaper over there. And I hope that I'm in focus as well, because I had to ask my girlfriend to press the little button up here that locks the focus. So I've sort of got my camera mounted behind my monitor, the main monitor that I game on. This is something that I want to be testing out for using for live streaming very soon, so I'll be very interested on what the picture quality is like. For anyone that's interested, I'm using a Lumix G9 with a 25mm f1.7, so I don't actually have to put a lot of light in everywhere. I don't have to get all these expensive Elgato key lights. Anyway, beginning of the video waffle. What have we got today? What have we got today for you then? We have some leaks. We have some leaks, not like leaking potatoes, like graphics card leaks, okay? And I said I wasn't going to get too much into the leaks and rumors. You know, I don't want to do this overhyping, but you know, it's a week before its launch. They're the RTX 3090 benchmark leaks, and it's not performing that much better than an RTX 3080. And that was something that I always thought it was going to, that up to 4K the 3090 wasn't going to represent very much good value at all, and there wouldn't be huge massive gains to be had. Now obviously these are leaks, to take them with a pinch of salt. I don't want anything that I'm doing with this video that I'm making today to put anyone off that was thinking of buying one. If you want to go out and buy one and that's what you want, and you want to go and spend your money on, you go and do that. You're your own man, you're your own woman, you're your own gamer, you're your own content creator. Enjoy the product that you bought. I do not want to shit on the 3090 at all here. I think it's going to be an absolute beast, but I definitely think that the way that they've marketed it, saying it's an 8K 60 frames per second card, we'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Obviously I knew they were going to have to use some trickery there, and like I said earlier, didn't see huge gains. So we'll have a little look on screen then. So this is over at videocards.com, and these leaks and all the data that they've got came from the people that published the first RTX 3080 review. As we know, all of those benchmarks were officially legit. Now the test system was performed on the same system as before, featuring an Intel Core i9-10900K, crappy name for a processor that is, and DDR4 memory clocked at 4133 MHz. In the video, the leakers do not refer to the RTX 3090 by its actual name. Instead, it is shown as a comparison between a whatever how you pronounce them to 10,000 yuan flagship and a 5,000 yuan flagship, probably getting that wrong, which is the RTX 3090 $1,500 and the RTX 3080 $700. There's a screenshot for some comparisons, and here are the benchmarks. Now as you can see, there's not really a lot of gains. Most of them, there's a few that are going over 10%. So Time Spy Extreme has got a 10.5% increase. Metro Exodus, both with DLSS off or on, do have a 10% increase there. But what's interesting as well, I suppose that is over 60 anyway, so it doesn't matter. So they're both below 60 without it on. And then we've got Horizon Zero Dawn, there's 10% gains there. Looking at Far Cry, there's 8% gains there, so that's all right, but you just seem to hit a limit with Far Cry with how many frames that you can push. Let's see something that hasn't got a lot of gains here. So Forza Horizon, that is a game that just sort of comes to a limit of just how many frames that you can push there. Borderlands 3 got a 10% increase, and the one that got the best was Death Stranding with DLSS and RTX turned off. Funnily enough, got 11.5% increase. So not massive gains there really. And I know what everyone's going to be thinking, well, why would you buy one then? And I think a lot of this is going to come down to how Nvidia have marketed it. Nvidia, they just said straight away, the world's first 8K gaming graphics card, didn't they? And then they showed this demo with loads of people playing it on big 8K TVs. And they had the TVs really close to them, because when you've got that many pixels, you can really enjoy it. If you had a screen that big close to you that was lower resolution, it just wouldn't look that good. But one thing that we know from that is that it was with DLSS. That's what they had to have turned on to get it up to that. So really, I always knew that, especially when you look at the performance, we'll have a little look, we'll compare the performance in a minute, that actually CUDA core wise, it's not massively in front. So it was never going to have a huge FPS gains. What I think is getting it there and being able to do this 8K trickery is the extra tensor cores for running all of that sort of deep learning super sampling, the 24 gigabytes of memory. You know, that is what's getting it to the 8K. It's not actually the increase in CUDA core count. Of course it's going to help, and that is why we're seeing those gains at 4K. Those benchmarks probably didn't mention they were all at 4K. And I never thought it was going to be, you know, pushing like 20, 30 frames per second more. I never thought that the RTX 3080 to 3090 would be like the difference between the 2080 and the 2080 Ti. I never thought it was going to be huge gains, especially when you like, if you look at it historically. We're going to have a little look at these numbers again here. So if you look at it historically, okay, so the difference between the 37 and 3080, we're just looking at CUDA core count. We're not going to, we know there's other numbers going on here, but let's just make it simple. It's got just under 3,000 more CUDA cores, okay? And again, 3090, just jumping up. I'm not even going to do the maths here. Just under 3,000 more CUDA cores. Always known that the difference between a 7 series and an 8 series is anywhere between like 10 and 20%. Sometimes you get the odd game that will take advantage of that extra VRAM and extra, you know, bigger memory bus. But generally, it sort of sits around the 15% mark if you averaged it all out. By the time you do a little bit of overclocking on the 7 series, you get pretty close, which is why the 7 series has always done so well, because it represents huge value, absolutely huge value. So if you apply that same sort of trickery going up again, that 3,000 more CUDA cores, we've got that extra VRAM, the bigger memory bus, you know, what is it going to equal? You know, that's where it's at. Now, I do think maybe it might be a little bit more. I think with some optimization, we should be able to push more than 10%. But like I was saying, I think they've geared this card up to do something that most of you aren't even going to use, which is exactly like the last series, isn't it, really? They just gave us all this ray tracing stuff. Like, for me, the things that I absolutely love the most is the HRenk encoder for doing live streaming, now that it's tuned in with Adobe Premiere. That's what I love. DLSS, I think it's sort of, you know, it's there now. It's a very good product, but ray tracing, I'm still not sold on. I still think it's another few generations away. And I think that's like what they've done with the 3090. I think because they've been able to make it go to 8K with DLSS, that's what they're going to shout at, because really, there's not really a lot of other reasons to buy it other than, you know, your flight simmers and all that sort of stuff. And I think that's probably where we could take it back, is that we don't have a Titan anymore, do we? And it's always been, if you're a gamer, buy the Ti. But if you did content and other stuff, then buy the Titan. So the 3090 is the Titan, okay? And the 3080 is almost the Ti. That's what I see it as. Like, the 3080 is the new 1080 Ti, and the 3090 is that Titan that costs loads more, and you were literally probably just buying it for the more VRAM and more memory bandwidth. So yeah, that's just my thoughts on it. It's a waffle video as always. Like I said, it never comes that technical. I'd just be interested on what your thoughts are. Let me know in the description below. Should I take a little bit more time with the video and have it faced around the other way, or would you rather the video out a bit quicker where I just do this talking head one and we can have some screen recording? Also interested in that. And like I said, these are just leaks, even though that the last time they leaked stuff they were bang on. You know, they are leaks. The benchmarks go live in a week, so if you were going to buy a 3090, don't not buy one because of what I've just said there. You know, take everything with a pinch of salt, watch all the day one reviews, do all the comparisons, and then buy what is best for you. Okay, not what someone else is telling you not to buy, what you think is best for you. Anyway, that's it from me today. Should probably go to bed because it's like 12 o'clock. I'm tired and I'm out of breath because I've been chain vaping all day.